All right, and we are done with day 3 of group stage at TI10. And yeah, my name is Freddie. I'm here with Sid. We're gonna talk about what's happening today. Like all the I would say amazing Dota. 3 day in, 3 day out. I think we have a lot of great stuff. But let's talk about some of the important points. Okay. I would like to start with Undying as well as beastcoast run. What do you think about that, Sid? Do you think it's expected, unexpected? Yeah, what do you think about these two teams performing so far? Yeah.
I'll say Beast Coast is not completely unexpected because Beast Coast have shown that they can step it up when it comes to the big tournaments before. But I think Undying is really unexpected because they couldn't make it to a single major throughout the year.
Yep.
They were always playing third fiddle to EG and Quincy Crew, throughout the year, not really coming close to them. And they have really stepped it up. And it's really impressive to see Undying, make it till where they have. And there's a good chance that they might even make the upper bracket.
Yeah, both them, both Undying as well as Beast Coast, which is I think it kind of opened up a little bit more for like NA as well as SA Dota, right? But for the longest time, yes, I would say it's a region that always been dominated by just one or two franchises. But right now we have like other teams that are stepping up, and that's great. That's great to see that Undying is like kind of like proving a case that they may be the strongest NA team right now. Yeah, I mean this is a bit controversial, but yeah, as of now.
That question will be answered tomorrow when EG play Undying.
That is a match that I can't wait. I'm for sure put it on my primary monitor to watch that.
And the best thing is no one is expecting Undying to beat EG. They have no pressure of expectations, whereas EG, everyone is expecting them to win and be in the upper bracket. And if the past has shown anything, EG doesn't really perform too well under pressure. So it's going to be an interesting game.
You're right, because EG has been I would say, for lack of a better word, inconsistent, right? Like in a lot of their gameplay as well as draft sometimes. I think they were actually pretty much out drafted a couple of times. Yeah.
I mean, extending a bit on that, like the thing with teams with no expectation is they experiment a lot. They do stuff you wouldn't expect. Like, for example, Virtus Pro, when they beat EG 2-0, they got mid Earthshaker in both games. But EG is going to go for their normal standard.
Tried and tested.
Tried and tested. So even though they're really good at what they do, you know what they're going to do. And at a place like TI, that can be a bit, not so good.
All right. With that, I'm going to shift our attention to the top of the table for both Group A as well as Group B. Right now, we have both IG, Invictus Gaming leading at the top of Group A, as well as PSG LGD at the top of Group B. I think I'm actually quite I wouldn't say quite, but a little bit surprised with IG performing so well. I mean, they're always a strong team, of course, but of course with the I would say the COVID complication, I thought they might might affect their gameplay a little bit, but so far they seems to be pretty strong. And PSG LGD today, they showed VG Gaming, whose boss, they handed them a 2-0 defeat. And I think both of these teams are guaranteed upper bracket spot. So tomorrow will be pretty, I would say, just a roll in the park for them to close up the game and just maintain, I would say retain their favorable spot at the upper bracket.
So not only are they guaranteed the top spot, I believe they're guaranteed. Sorry, not only are they guaranteed the upper bracket, I believe they're guaranteed the top spot, which makes a difference because then that gives you the ability to pick your opponent for the first round of the upper bracket. It's been insanely impressive, no doubt about that. I think PSG LGD, everyone expected them to dominate. Like seeing what they've been doing in the majors, seeing what they've been doing in the ESL tournaments without nothing to say. Playing with Zhao 8, they managed to get to a final and win the next one of the two. Well, they went to the final of ESL 1 Fall and they won OG Dota bid without nothing to say. So I think that was pretty expected.
Correct. Personally, I'm like a super hardcore fan of CNQ. I just like the way he played his role, and I'm like, wow, he's just right now he is my number one support player right now.
Right. Zincu has always been a really innovative player. Like back in I believe TI8, he was an offlaner and he used to do all stuff like uh, QOP off lane, and he used to buy Blink on QOP, and he
Correct.
makes a lot of crazy stuff work. He's a joy to watch.
All
But
right. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
coming to IG, like definitely expected them to do well, but I would never have thought that they do this well. Like they,
13-1. Yeah.
yeah, 13-1. They've only dropped one game against Undying. They've 2-0'd VP, they've 2-0'd EG, they've 2-0'd T1, and I think tomorrow's game against OG is going to be really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, OG has always been kind of like perceived as the Chinese Slayer, right? In a sense, to say, yeah, for like, in the previous TI, I would say. So
Yep.
we will see. We'll see if they will be able to like provide some sort of like a surprise
Mm-hmm.
for IG or not. Now I'm gonna move our attention to the bottom of the table. Well, sadly, unfortunately, Thunder Predator is now out of TI.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that you expected?
Well, I definitely expected the SA teams to not perform extremely well, uh, because the reason is the most least experienced, I should say, when it comes to big tournaments. Definitely a bit surprising to see them go 14 nil 14 in terms of win loss.
Yep.
But I'm not too surprised to see that Thunder Predator and SG are the two teams that are potentially going to get eliminated. I mean, Thunder Predator is already out. SG is fighting for their lives. It's not the
Mhm.
most surprising thing.
Yeah, I think one of the main things, not so much of like individual like skill set or whatever. I think they are players. They have, of course have the skill level cap and everything. Just I felt like a lot of time they were definitely outdrafted.
Mm-hmm.
And the lack of experience in closing up games and making certain key decisions in the game. I think that's what caused them. Yeah, this
Well,
yeah yeah.
definitely, that's one thing. And the second thing, I think, which is probably the bigger thing, is mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Like a team like OG, they will underperform the entire year in the DPC leagues. They'll lose to random teams. But when
Yep.
it comes to TI, it's all about the mentality. They will bring their A game, and they'll be on top of their game. Whereas with a team like Thunder Predator or SG, who've not been there and done that, there's just a lot of pressure to, we don't want to get eliminated, and then a
Yep.
couple of losses, and that pressure just keeps mounting. Having said that, I saw a lot of posts on Reddit talking about how South America doesn't deserve three spots and all that stuff. I think that this is exactly what they need to
Mm-hmm.
come up to the level of the big boys. Like maybe for maybe 1 year or maybe 2 more years, they'll underperform. But once they have a consistent slot at the big tournaments with the big teams, that's when you're going to see them perform a lot better.
Yeah. Um, you mentioned SG Sports just now, so yeah, I want to talk about SG and Quincy Crew fighting for their life, right? Right now they're
Mm-hmm.
tied at eighth place in Group B,
Yeah.
2-10. In your mind, who will make it out alive tomorrow? Like Quincy Crew is gonna, they have two games, one against Elephant, the other one against SG. So that is of course the deciding match. But SG also have another game against Team Spirit. Yeah, arguably they have pretty much, I would say the same difficulty in terms of like going through. So in your mind, if you have to predict which
Mm-hmm.
team will make it through.
I think it's really difficult to say, but I,
Yes.
I I feel it'll be Quincy Crew. The reason being, Quincy Crew was slightly more experienced than SG.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, SG did make it to a lot of lands about 2 3 years ago, but looking at the current year, Quincy Crew made it to both majors. They're slightly more experienced, and
Yep.
if you'd asked me this 2 days ago, I would have probably said SG because Team Spirit were playing really bad Dota. But Team Spirit have picked up like crazy. Like
Mm-hmm.
they've gone from I think 0-4 to 6-6.
Correct.
So they might have a very outside chance of making it to the upper bracket. So you might see Team Spirit play their best Dota. So I
Mm.
think it's going to come down to the game between SG and QC, and I think QC will take that.
Yeah. For me, I mean, on paper, I think QC definitely has a higher chance, but I personally like a good underdog story, so I'm gonna root for SG. I'm gonna put my money on SG if I have to make the spot. Yes, you're right with the whole SA Dota. They have the least experience in like land and all that, and TI of course. So to be able to at least squeeze two spots in will definitely help them in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
would love to see more of that. Now, let's go on. Let's talk about okay, let's talk about some of the fun stuff that's happened today, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
think OG kind of Koji won the shortest game of the group stage so far. I think with
Mm-hmm.
19 minutes against Undying.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What do you think of this current meta? Like, do you like the tempo and everything? Because I personally think it is great, like in the sense that most of games are at least you don't drag it out to over an hour. You can have like a 19 like or even like 20+ minute games, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes 40 and yeah. I just like the lot of variety depending on the draft, of course. But yeah, what's your thought on that?
I think that game was like kind of a one-off game. You don't see too many games ending too early.
Of course, yeah,
Most of the games you're seeing they go above the 25 or 30 minute mark, which is, I'd say, between 30 and 40 is the sweet spot. You want to see a game go at least that far. I think the meta is pretty good in terms of TI, and you can see a lot of games where teams have like a 30 or 40K net worth lead, but they're not
hmm,
able to finish off the game because teams have the tools for the high ground defense. So
yeah,
uh, I'd say it's a pretty interesting meta. It's not like a snowbally meta. I mean, you're definitely going to
yeah,
see that in one or two games, but on the whole, there is decent potential for comeback. And I think
correct.
Ice Frog has found the formula for getting that nice TI meta, and this one stands
Yeah,
out.
and it's not too ratty as well in the sense like a red Dota. Remember
Right.
like the old TI3 or TI2, where it was basically just like a
Definitely
drag
not.
out game. Everybody just
Definitely.
split pushing, not meeting each other. But yeah, this I would say there's a good mix of team fights and objective gaming, so it's pretty good.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, and I think you also show a lot of variety because as of now, if I'm mistaken, we are at 105 heroes out of
I think it's
one
more than
two one
that.
or more than that 106
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah,
I believe three new heroes were picked today, so I think
then it
we're
should be
up to
107.
107. Yep.
Yeah, 107. That's great. I of course personally for the sake of like trivia, I would like to see all 121 heroes being used for
That
the
would be
entirety of
amazing.
TI. That would be great. Like I don't know who will pick.
Right,
I don't know techies or Zeus right now, but we'll see.
right. I mean, so let's take a quick look at what heroes
Mm,
haven't been picked. You have heroes like Keeper of the Light. You have Omni Knight.
yeah,
I don't think Omni will be picked because Heavenly Grace got enough real hard.
correct. Yes, super nerf now. Yeah,
But I have a feeling you are going to see a Zeus or a Keeper of the Light somewhere. Uh, kind of
Ricky.
Ricky, that's a tricky pick. A lot of professional players and casters have been saying that his new shard is really good, and I've seen it used in pubs, but
Yep.
I haven't seen how good it is in the
I
professional
think this
games.
is a little bit tight right now. To squeeze in the Ricky, especially with the current meta. Yeah, I just feel like with all the aggressive 4 and 5, it's gonna be
Mhm.
tough for Ricky. You imagine you having like Monkey King 4 jumping
Oh
around
yeah,
like Weaver
yeah,
4. It's
right,
tough. It's tough being a Ricky.
right.
Yeah.
No, I'm glad you mentioned that the Monkey King and Weaver 4 because that is another uh, really amazing thing about this meta is that you have so many flex picks. You have Tiny, which can be played as position 4, which is being played as position 4 by T1 right now. You have Weaver being played as position 4.
Hmm.
You can have Monkey King played as position 4, and all these heroes can be played as the carry as well.
Yeah.
So that makes it a really interesting meta. And when you look at drafts, you're always wondering where this hero is going to go.
And you have a few flexes and all that. Even like you look at OG, even they can even play IO or at the off lane.
Yeah,
That's just fun.
right. But with OG though, like I don't think OG can surprise me anymore because they are literally the team that will pull off anything. And we saw this in TI8 where
Hmm.
everyone was playing Trient and Winter Wyvern as supports, and Seb was not afraid to pick it up as a position 3 hero. So with OG, yeah, they are just the kings of innovation.
All right. So just quickly before we wrap up today, I just want to ask for your prediction for tomorrow.
Mhm.
So for Group A, which 4 teams do you think will make it to the upper bracket? And then same thing goes for Group B. But let's start with Group A.
Okay, so Group A, T1. T1's last game is against Thunder Predator. They're definitely going to win that 2-0. I believe T1 will squeeze in. It'll be T1, EG. Invictus Gaming is already there. And now I don't know about OG and EG. Those are the ones with a question mark. And I think a lot depends on how IG approaches the game, because IG has nothing to win or lose. So you don't know how seriously they're gonna take the last game. And because I feel like if they play to their full potential, they will beat OG. But you don't know if they're gonna do that.
Yeah. My take is, of course, you have IG there. And then I feel like OG is gonna at least get a 1-1. Yeah,
I
tomorrow.
think you're right.
I think they're gonna get at least, also they will be able to secure that. And then VP, and my money is on EG against Undying, but yeah, it's possible that they cause an upset. But you're right with T1 there. T1, that 2-0 seems likely, and if that's the case, they're likely going to be able to take the last slot and not either. It'll be quite interesting if T1 makes it and not Undying or EG.
Right.
Like, yeah,
right.
That'd be great.
And it also depends a lot on how the series right now ends. And it's seeming like T1 is poised to take it. Like they have a decent lead. They seem to be in the driver's seat and they're already leading 1-0 in the series. So based on that, I feel T1 will squeeze in. I'm not sure about EG. EG is.
Let's quickly look at Group. Group B is probably a little bit more straightforward. I think we have PSG, LGD, and Vichy Gaming more or less secured the 2 slots. So now it's the remaining 2 slots. Which 2 teams will be able to get in? Your prediction?
I think Secret will definitely make it. Let me take a quick look at Secret team. So the interesting thing about Group B is they have 2 games. Group A only has 1 game, so it's a lot easier to predict. With Group B, they have 2 games each, so it's going to be slightly more difficult to predict. So Secret has to play Fnatic, who are not doing too well, and Team Spirit. I think Secret will make it with PSG, LGD, and VG Gaming.
So the last slot, yeah.
And the last slot, let's see, beastcoast have PSG, LGD. That's not someone you want to face.
And Spirit,
And Spirit. And Elephant have
QC.
Again, PSG, LGD, and QC. I feel like Elephant are going to squeeze in that last spot. But I would like to see Beast Coast go in there.
I personally gonna root for Beast Coast all the way. Yeah.
Right. Because you want to see South America advance a bit.
At least one SA team, represented at the upper bracket.
Right. And just as we're talking, P1 have won their game against Undying. So that puts T1 even closer to that upper bracket spot.
Yeah, SEA represents. So with that, we are done for the recap of day 3 as well as our predictions. So stay tuned for more from GosuGamers. We have more prediction as well as meta analysis videos in the next few days, especially during playoff. So yeah, stay tuned and see you guys next time.